Guys, what we have today is a video on how to use MyFitnessPal. So you open it up from your app store, and the first thing you're going to need to do is change your macro and calorie settings to something a bit more realistic. MyFitnessPal doesn't do a great job of giving you good guidelines. So you will have gotten them on your spreadsheet. If you don't know what they are, just hit us up and we'll show you where to find them. But you click into My Profile. That's a complete lie. You go into Goals first. Calorie and Macronutrient Goals. And then you select your calorie intake. So for example, if I was 100 kilos and I was looking to diet, it would probably be about 2,700 calories. So we got 2700, and that's cool. I'd probably aim for about 20% carbohydrates. No, let's call it 30% carbs. About 40% protein and then 30% fats. And then you get your 100% here, which shows you have the right numbers. Select OK. And then when you go into your actual weight loss diary tracker, it'll show you where you're meeting your targets. So you want to hit diary, and now you start to add your foods. So for example, if I had, let's say I had oats, or let's say I had 8 bacon and eggs. So what you've got is the ability to add multiple foods in one go. So you hit the tick mark, select, add 2, and you can see you've eaten 413 calories, 210 from fats, 203 from bacon. Now, there's a couple of things you need to be aware of with MyFitnessPal. Sometimes it gives you terrible numbers. So where possible, what you should look to do is scan the food you're eating. So there's a barcode scanner here. If you hit that, it'll open up the camera function on your phone and then allow you to scan a barcode on whatever you're eating. Okay, so if it doesn't have that, what you want to do is make sure you're sense checking it. So for example, chicken will have about 20% to 25% protein by volume. So if I go into chicken and I want 100 grams of protein, or 100 grams of chicken, I'd expect to see about 20 to 30 grams of protein. And indeed it shows up here as 28.9 grams, which is cool. So I know that's right, so I can add it in. Sometimes when you add in certain foods, depending on who's put them in, it can be a little bit skewy, it can be a little bit crazy, and it can totally affect your numbers at the end of the day. So if you ever need to check in and see where you're at with this, you hit nutrition, and it'll give you a daily breakdown. So you can see here, based off of what I've had 66 grams of protein only, 66 grams of protein, 35 grams of fat, and like 0 carbohydrates, because I've only put in bacon, eggs, and chicken so far. So if I was to fill it out a little bit further, normally if I was trying to diet on this amount of calories, I'd probably have about 2.5 times 100 gives you 250 grams. So you can set your number of servings to fractions or decimals. It's a little bit easier on decimals. So if you 250 grams of chicken, 2.5 by 100 gram serving size is 250. I'd probably have that with some rice, probably about 50 grams if I was doing this myself. So 0.5 of 100 grams is 50 grams. I select OK. And then I head down. And for dinner, let's say I had some sweet potato and some mince. 400 grams of sweet potato, 200 grams of mince. I'd add that in. And then I can look and see what I've had so far today. So at this point, I've had 3 pretty decent meals. I've had my eggs, I've had my bacon, I've had meat and rice, and then I've had sweet potato and beef. Typically now I wouldn't include any vegetables I'm having, simply because they don't have a massive calorie load. So you can kind of get away without including them. But at this point, you've only had 1,700 odd calories. Your goal is 2,700. You need to find those calories somewhere else in the plan. So what we do is we give like an option of free calories. So you can make this into whatever you want. So you can go into your snacks. You might have had a protein bar. You might have had a banana. You had a protein shake, and then you had some walnuts. You can check in and you can see you still have like 100 grams remaining, even when you've had a protein bar, a banana, 25 grams of protein, and 50 grams of walnuts. 100 grams is probably, or 100 calories as a remaining number is probably okay. It'll just account for any errors you make in measurement. So if you're somewhere like 100 grams under or 100 grams over, you can be reasonably sure you're doing okay. You can do a lot of other stuff like adding in your body weight and stuff. You can add in goals to track your weight. So your current weight is this, your goal weight is whatever you decide it needs to be, or you base it off of what we've given you as guidelines. And then you can start to track your progress and stuff with it as well. But for the most part, what you should get to grips with is just logging onto MyFitnessPal. You go and end up in home. You want to go into your diary and start adding in foods here. Just make sure you double check them against the information on the nutrition label until you get a sense for what foods you should be eating and how many calories are in them. If you have any questions or anything like that, just post them up in the comment section under this video, or if you're watching it over email, just shoot us back an email reply and we'll get back to you straight away, okay?